Okay, well, hello friends. It's been a long time. Welcome and thanks for joining for another one of my live streams. I'm sorry I haven't streamed recently. Let me just sort the mic levels out. Hopefully that's a little bit better and the noise gate's not too bad. Hey Rick, thanks for joining. Great to see you. I've been pretty busy with work, pretty busy fixing bits on my car, and I've actually been trying out a bit of Flight Sim 2020, which I will do a stream with at some point, but boy is it different, and boy can... I'm not really getting on with it, to be fair, so maybe we'll do a flight and I'll moan about what I don't like about it. Anyway, with that in mind, I thought it was probably a great time to jump back into the Zibo mod, and obviously I haven't got to the bottom. I haven't done much flying and much testing, so I can't even say if I've got to the bottom of the Vulkan issues and those massive frame stutters that we were having over the UK, so I'm doing another American test. I will probably try and find some time to see if I can isolate those, but I know Chris was having some trouble, he mentioned on the org forums, that sounded pretty similar, so I think it's a bit sort of disheartening when you put quite a lot of effort into planning a flight, executing it, and then it dies at the end. So hopefully the beta gets a bit more stable sometime soon, if this isn't, but I don't know. And I can get back into streaming every other day or so. Anyway, enough about my sorry excuses for why I haven't been online. Here we are at Charlotte, and we are off to Baltimore. It's an FSE trip, so we've got the FSE interface down here. And it's AAvirtual, who I haven't flown for a while, which meant I was about to get booted, so yeah, that's I was trying out the 320 in FS 2020. It's just so different, Rick. It's not as immersive. Okay, the graphics are a bit better. The clouds seem a bit cartoony from far away. Some of the lighting's good, but the jets, they really, most of the aircraft really don't fly well with the sort of default settings compared to X-planes. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, we'll be able to do some of that and jump in and see how it goes, but I haven't been getting on the views. I don't really want to be learning new key commands for views and things, and it's just all a bit different, and I really don't like the flight planning, the way the FMSs don't work. So yeah, let's get back into something a bit more familiar and a bit more realistic. Everything's busy here, and my radio stack either not working, so I might have to unplug it and plug the USB back in, and I'll see in a minute if that is the case. I think I can just about hear the outside through my headphones and speakers. So let's hop into the jet and see if we can set things up. So there we are, completely cold and dark. One thing I haven't done is just turn all the indicators off. I don't mind that they're where they are. There we are, up onto the overhead. Lights are on steady, ready to go. Everything else, packs are off, ISO's open. Just a quick scan, make sure everything's where it should be, igniter's right. And everything looks okay to pop the battery on, pop the emergency exit lights on. We have got no ground power, I haven't got SAM installed, so that shouldn't be an issue. And the radios haven't come alive, so that's fine. So, all the lights are on, I'm not going to test them, but what I'm going to do is, GPU is now available, there we go. Excellent, that's the noise we want to hear. I know people have been having loads of issues with updates, but as always, it looks a lot like user error to me. So let's get the RSs aligning. There we go. And while we're here, 7 minutes, that won't take long. The yaw damper can go on at this point. Test the crossfeed, open, bright, dim, close, bright, and it should go off, which it does. Fuel temp is pretty close to ambient. We will pop. Maybe I should have just left that one I haven't hit. It has to be one from from tank one. If you look at the fuel schematics, you'll see why. After or forward, I believe they're alternated to reduce the wear. And that's to reduce the DC fuel pump on the APU, reduce the wear on that. Cabin utility fees on, lights are all off, igniters right as we've said, start switches to auto, diff pressure 0. Hydraulic pumps can come on, and the cautions have gone off. We can test the window heat. Those lights can go on, set the trim air on, set the AC to how we want, set the packs to on, and we'd get conditioned air from the gate. In reality, the APU bleed can stay off. Key commands good, they are still the same. I didn't delete that one, that was the last time we flew, so 29 days. Back in my old flying days we had a 30-day currency, or was it 31? Anyway, so you'd just be in currency, which is a pretty sketchy place to be honest. So, our cruise, and I've got this printed in front of me. I'm going to be working through this a bit slower than normal, I think. 370. And our landing out 143, so that'll be 150. That's the initial overhead. Done. What are the packs? So the packs are effectively the air conditioning and pressurization units. Where does the word pack come from? Don't know. And so they are what provides air to the cabin, and of course it is conditioned, so you need them on the ground to keep things cool, but in the air they provide breathable air into the cabin. And you need the engine bleeds on to run them, or you need an air source, so the APU can run the packs, and that's compressed air that's going into them. And so can the engine, and bleed air is taken from, I think it's the 4th stage of the compressor. So there will be X number of compressor stages, and at the 4th stage there's a little hole that allows bleed air to go into the packs and to run them, and then the isolation valve will supply, when we've got it open, you can have APU supplying to both packs to then provide air conditioning and pressurization to the cabin. So I hope that briefly answers your question, Rick, but what you can do is have a look at some of the schematics and stuff online. There's loads of resources, loads of manuals, all the legit stuff, which will help you out there. And I can do some more digging if you want to know. What I am going to do is try reach behind my computer. Oh, I guess it wasn't that one. Just try the itch. Oh, I think it's this one. Go. So for some stupid reason, the crappy Saitek panel, every now and then, it was working when I started up X-Plane, and then when I loaded the aeroplane it didn't. We've got ATIS, we've got delivery 12715. So let's chin them up. Tower 1181. So this is the first time I've had to do a USA clearance. So that'll be interesting. I will just try and remember it and write it down, but I'm going to be sketchy as hell. So what do we have? I'm going to set the lights up in a moment. I'm going to set that to an odd number. IRS is still aligning, fuel and elects, cool. Set the rest up. What we need to do before we do anything else is...
A delivery, this is American 1031.
Cool, well at least we can hear people. I'm going to set the... and I've just muted that, just... actually, I'll tell you what, why don't I do it properly?
American 1031, job delivery, good afternoon. You're cleared to the Tampa International Airport by the BC-5 departure. Schedule transition is filed. Maintain 8,000.
Now that's interesting, that was working last time.
After departure. Departure is offline, block 6346.
That's really interesting, that was working. Never mind. Maybe we'll just go straight onto tower.
American 1031 is cleared to the Tampa International as filed via BB5 departure. Climb maintain 8,000, expect flight level 300 for 10 minutes after departure frequency to offline.
Nav data,
And
outdate. Never mind, it shouldn't have been. My bad.
code is 63464. Michael.
I definitely updated that.
American 1031, take back correct. Contact Charlotte Tower on 118.1 with taxi.
I'll have to check that.
We'll contact tower on 118.1.
So I'm just going to change frequency to mute that. So let's sort out fuel weight and balance. So the first things first is fuel. We need to get down to 6360. So let's go down to 6300. And if you remember, that's because FSE will just load a flat percentage for all the tanks, which is quite irritating. So you've got to defuel to get that down. Payload wise, does it tell us what we've got? We've got 108 packs. So B. Enter. This gives us. Okay, that's close enough. You know, that's you'd get that level of variability in reality, and of course you get a load sheet, which would vary that estimate. That's cool. Hello, yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining. It is good to be back in here, although it's feeling a bit alien, a bit like in reality when you are a little bit rusty and you know it. So, payload's on its way. We can get the punters loading. Do we have anything else to do? Shout if you see anything. I don't think so. What we are going to have to do is make sure. I'm going to leave that there. So as you can see, it's going to drain that down first, and then we'll fill the wing tanks up with whatever fuel we need. What we can do is at least get the weather while we're waiting and start getting set up. The ATIS is 132. Decimal 1. I'm not going to get the charts up just because I'm really lacking capacity, so if you guys want to have a look at the charts, if you have access to them. If you don't, you really should get hold of Navigraph or something similar. Let's have a listen to the ATIS.
Approach is in use. Expect visual approach 18 left, 18 center, 18 right. Notices to airmen. Transponders required to be on while operating on runways and taxiways. Read Michael hold short instruction. Bird activity vicinity airport. VFR aircraft contact clearance delivery 127.15. Advised aircraft type. Initial heading plan altitude. Advised on initial contact. You have information Gulf.
Great. Come on, let's start it again.
Douglas International Airport data information Gulf 1852 Zulu. Westcom. Visibility 10. Light rate. Few clouds at 1000. 2,300 scattered. Ceiling 6,000 broken. 18,000 overcast. Temperature 25. 2.22. Altimeter 29993. Simultaneous departures in use. Expect runway 18 center. Runway 18 left. Simultaneous approach is in use. Expect visual approach 18 left. 18 center. 18 right.
Okay, cool. We are happy with that. I hope you guys caught that. The clouds, what do we have scattered? The ceiling was broken at 6,000. Then overcast at 18,000. Temperature 25 degrees. Dew point 22. 2993. We're in inches. We are in inches. There we go. So that's set. The departure runway headings, they're all 183, so let's get the departure headings set now while I think about it. Looking at our filed departure, the initial climb from Charlotte should be 8,000, so I'm going to set that in anticipation, and if we will of course get told otherwise, but that just saves a little bit of time. Just trying to anticipate what we get given. You can see the centre fuel is coming down quite nicely there. I think somebody said the decals looked a bit weird with that, but everything looks fine for me. So let's jump into the FMC. We know where we are. KCLT. We are on stand. Oh, one thing I didn't do was start the flying. 1933, never mind American. That's one thing I've left out. Those are the sort of things you forget. Anyway, that's running. projectFLY is running. Oh, Rick, well, good luck. Good luck back at school. That's going to be something real different. Good luck with it. Let us know how you get on. We are at gate. What gate are we at? Charlie 08, I think. Do we have anything outside to tell us? Probably not. That's not particularly helpful. Get rid of that one. I think it is Charlie 08. Anyway, not that you have to fill that one in. I just do often so that I don't forget. And then what I tend to do is then write it down next to the ATC clearance, just so that all the information's in one place. Our IRS position will come from the GPS left source, and that's required information in those boxes, so fill that in. There we go. Airplane started to figure out where it is. You can see the AMP dropping down. We are off to GB DDR4. We are American 1717. And let's have a look at our route. That's pretty simple. Kilts 4 to AUDII, direct to THHMP, and then Raven 6 into Baltimore, expecting 10. So I've got the charts all ready for that, and the anticipation we might get something different. So why don't we load up. That's what it gets saved as out of SimBrief. AUDII, THHMP, that was all I had to put in, so probably would have been just as quick to do that. One thing we can do on the prog is check the distance. And if we go back here, you'll see 376344. It's close enough without the stars in. It's order of magnitude stuff. So let's activate that. And we can start thinking about our zero fuel weight, 1158. Okay, 300 out, whatever, it's pretty close. And let's have a look at our fuel. We are going to load this up. So, there we go. Why don't we pop the fuel in? That's a pretty good time to do it. You can see here that I've got an additional 15-minute reserve, so we'll ask for 13,604. See what we get given. If we're slightly less, it doesn't matter because we have got that additional reserve. I don't anticipate any delays, but it's good to have a little bit extra, especially when flying online. Our fuel is going up. So our planned fuel is, and this is what we've got at the moment. So if we pop in trip and taxi 5985, we shouldn't get any messages because we are already above it. This is in pounds. Because where's our taxi? 15-minute taxi 375, that's £375. So just order of magnitude, because it's about 170, isn't it, normally for taxi? So 5, we're going to call that 6. And our reserves are going to be 5.9, round up to 6, round up to 6.1. It'd be more like 6.3 when we round up in kilos, but does the job. Cost index 30370 is our cruise. Top of climb 257.46. Top of climb ISO P4 positive +9. Using reserve fuel. Yes, we are. So when we look at 4.9, our reserve 6.1. That message is correct. So we can get rid of that. We'll sort those out And we'll do the takeoff performance once we've been given the runway. We could do the shorter of the two, which is 1.8 left. That would be the shorter taxi for us. Although we'll be given that when we get clearance. So, looking good so far. Still nothing to do on the overhead, so let's 121. So chat to delivery. Charlotte delivery, good afternoon. American 1717, 737-800, information Golf, stand Charlie 8. Request departure clearance to Baltimore, please.
American 1717, Charlotte delivery, good afternoon. You're cleared to the Baltimore Washington International Airport by the Killen 4 departure, AUDII transition is filed. Maintain 8,000, expect flight level 370 with after departure. Departure is offline, squawk 6353.
American 1717 cleared to Baltimore via the Kilns 4 AUDII transition. Initial climb 8,000 feet. Expect flight level 370 10 minutes after departure. Departure's offline and squawk 36353. American 1717.
American 1717, read back correct. Contact Tower 118.1. When you're ready to taxi, take care.
Tower 118.1, when ready to taxi. Thanks very much for the service. Have a great day, American 1717.
You as well.
Cool, so, might as well tune it. So we can always do the... So we can have anything really, can't we? What we can do... We've been given our departure clearance, so we can pop that in. Kilns 4. Now why do we have AUDII 3 times? Is that because of the runways? Weird. That does seem like a bug to me. That's really weird. Okay. Let's pop that in. If we have to do the departure calcs at the threshold, we can. We are slightly lighter, so I'm going to use our estimated weights. Get 1.8 left. And we'd have to ask for full because we can't figure that out. Either runway, minimum flap is 1,800. So let's pop that in. Got our heading. There are no nav aids, it's a complete RNAV. There is even nothing on the departures. .60 and then vectors by the looks of things. Heading 183. Or as assigned. Cool. So, as you can see, there is a discontinuity in that plan. So why don't we just ask Tower which runway they're going to give us? While I think we've just stopped fueling. Tower, good afternoon, American 1717, standard Charlie 8, information Golf. Request our departure runway, please. No, 1181 is what we need. Let's try that. Charlie Tower, good afternoon, American 1717, stand Charlie 8, information Golf. Request departure runway, please.
American 1717, Charlotte is currently in south operations. Departing 18 center for 18 left. Have you gotten a clearance for delivery yet?
A-firm, we've got our delivery clearance. Just wondering which runway you'd like to give us. We can take either. Just want to do the performance counts before we push.
Hey, 1717, no problem. Could expect only 18 left.
Roger, we'll plan for 18 left. Thanks very much, American 1717. Cool, so that was helpful. 18 left.
Tower November 33 Delta Charlie, we've got a reroute from clearance delivery on our way off to 18 left.
November 33 Delta Charlie, Roger, cross runway 23 at Delta.
So legs-wise, 1260 and then vectors, that's cool. That is exactly what we need. We can put the arrival in, we'll do that later, along with the forecast and everything else. So, there we go, we are getting 22k plus 3-4. And if we are asked, we need to do runway 18 left full. It's a dry runway even though it's light rain. It's going to be flap 5, 22k. Yep, that's going to give us 2235 meters with a stop margin of 409, so that's plenty even at that. 22k plus 3-4 leads on, so 22k, 34 degrees, flap 5. We've finished loading the fuel, but the CG doth not come up, so we have to get that from. Yeah. 24.6. Where's our charts? So that'll change ever so slightly. You'd get that off the load sheet in reality. Oh, why that's not working anymore. So 525 on the trim. One thing I didn't do was the squawk.
Delta Charlie's holding short, 18 left.
November 33 Delta Charlie, fly heading 100, runway 18 left, clear for takeoff.
Fly heading 100, 18 left.
133, 134, 139. Okay, so.
Sure, Alaska 459, do you copy your last transmission?
Alaska 459, negative.
39.
Clearance delivery redirected me to you for help for route modifications.
Alaska 459, what can I do for you?
He's not doing his job,
We'd
is
like
he?
to authorize
Anyway,
arrival with the
flights.
Levy transition into Atlanta.
Flight directors are on.
Alaska 459, that's what I've got in your flight plan.
Brakes set.
Right
Fuel
now.
set.
Right now I've got your flight plan as Bob Z, for departure Tennessee transition.
So let's get the APU running.
Transition to the Aussie 1 arrival.
Let's get the airplane secure.
The seatbelt sign is on. Please be seated and
Cool,
fasten
so
your
we've
seatbelt.
done AppSoft. I'll just.
We cannot leave the gate until exterior items are properly put away.
Oh,
All
no, I
the
don't
head
think
bins are closed. and
No,
all
that's not
passengers
showing up.
are
Sorry, I haven't got
seated.
this set up. Something must have changed. Anyway, that's. Okay, Rick, thanks very much. Sorry I didn't see that. Hi, Ben. Can I go to Edinburgh sometime? Yes, we have done before. Oh, that's really nice. Well done for getting your S1, Ben, because it's pretty hard work on VATSIM getting your controller rating, so well done you, mate. And yeah, maybe we'll come and do some visual circuits, because I could do with a hand flying practice, so that'll be fun. And I really just want to get the sim nice and stable. That's the only thing that's been sort of putting me off after our last disaster into Dublin, which was disappointing, because that was quite a fun little flight with it being busy. Rick, thanks very much. Have a great night. Have a great day tomorrow. Hope to see you again soon. Right. So you can see our departure there. We'll do what we're told when it comes to headings, etc. The APU is on and is now on the bus, so we can pop the bleed on. And we've got some air going to the cabin. Let's get the door shut. And what we'll do is we'll connect first. No, we'll keep that plan because there's no way we're going to get given anything. Alright, we might, but whatever.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
So, parking brake is set. We are currently self-sufficient for power, self-sufficient for air, so let's get the tug
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving
connected. There is nothing on here, I don't think, for acceleration, etc. So we'll keep that
Charlie, maintain 4,000, clear direct.
with this call.
Climate take 4000, clear direct, Zibo 33 Delta Charlie.
So we are good to go, 2 hour delivery. So yeah, I'm really not very comfortable with Flight Sim 2020, Ben, if I'm honest. The graphics look fun. I've done a couple of the challenges, which is different and fun. The handling characteristics, though, maybe I'll do some of the lessons and see what I think. I'll definitely do something with that, because I mean that runs. And some things are pretty impressive, some things less so. And I've only paid £1 for it for a month.
Closed, ready to connect.
So I'm not too worried. It's great on the Game Pass that you can get your first month for £1, which is really, really good. But I am much more comfortable in this mod, and I'm much more comfortable in this sim. So yeah, I'm not sort of itching to get into it. It feels strange. So, like I say, I mean, even if you have to pay, what is it, £4 a month? I don't know what it is in dollars or whatever. It's worth having a go. That's the really good thing. I'd be put it this way, I'd be disappointed if I'd bought it at full price. So far.
31, runway 18 center, taxi.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
American 1, American 1717, stand Charlie 8, request push and start.
American 1717, push and start, your discretion, advisory to taxi.
Push and start, Wilco, American 1717. Cool, so he's pretty sensible. So we have been cleared. Out off initially, I think I might have to turn that on. All the pumps can come on. Oh, let's disconnect the GPU.
984 Zulu, is that you calling Charlotte Tower?
That's up there, sir.
Number 584 Zulu. Would you like runway 18 left shortened at Alpha or 18 left
Ladies and
forward?
gentlemen, the boarding doors are closed. Flight attendants prepare doors for departure. Cross check aircraft staff left.
So we're about 5 minutes late.
47
Which is not bad.
Zulu, taxi runway 18 left at Alpha via Delta Alpha.
Taxi 18 left at Alpha via Delta Alpha.
Okay, there's the door shut. And I'm struggling to remember what my keys are. There we go, there's parking brake, 1551.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
What do we got? 6790 and 6810. Didn't even check to see how much fuel had gone in. I've got more than enough by the looks of things. So there we go.
1031 Charlotte Tower. Go ahead, we're going with another one. Make it 1031, looks like you made that
That's
turn
weird.
on Echo 7. I wanted you to go down Echo all the way to the end. But that's okay. Proceed straight ahead on Echo 7 and then make the right turn onto Echo 8. And then that left turn back onto Echo.
So packs off.
Echo 7 back on Echo 8 and back on Echo, and we're going through this one.
Let's start engine number 2. Hopefully the push is still going alright. Looked like we stopped for a little bit, which was weird. So some of the checklists say wait for 25%. It isn't. It's 20 to 25% for max motoring. 25 latest, there we go, fuel on. Tell you to watch the EGT as well.
Operation complete.
Lever to start
parking
with.
brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
There was the starter cutout. Valve's gone. There you go. You see the EGT then bumps up, but it stabilizes anyway as air starts coming through the front of the engine. 2, 4, 6 on both of those. So we'll start engine number 1 I've got a key for this, haven't I? There we go. Although the speed brake lever is in the way. There you go, oil pressure registers. 20 to 25. Fuel on. There goes the fuel flow. That should start.
Nose disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Starter cutout. Valve indication's gone, and there's the engine stabilising. 2, 4, 6, and 6. We'll wait to see the pin. There it is. Onto the flow. Reverse C. So, flap 5. There it is. Flight controls full forward, full aft, full left, full right, full left rudder, full right rudder, just making sure that speed brake's stowed. So trim looks pretty much set to me, and that should be before taxi check's done. So the checklist gen's on, no lights, APU off, start switches both continuous. Anti-ice is raining, but it's above 25, or it's above 10 degrees, so we're not going to need any anti-ice. Probes are on.
18 center at Echo, ready for departure.
Max auto, bleeds on, ISOs, auto.
1031, fly, heading 200, runway 18,
Flap.
clear for takeoff.
5 required, 5 set, green light.
Clear for takeoff, 18 center, American 1001.
Stab trim, 5 1/4 required. 5 1/4 set, give or take. 2 idle detents on the start levers. Flight controls checked. Recall I didn't check. There we go. Recall's checked. Therefore, we are ready to taxi. Tower American 1717. Push stand Charlie 8. Request taxi. 18 left.
American 1717. Runway 18 left. Taxi via Charlie.
Taxi runway 18 left via Charlie American 1717.
So American 1717, depending on which way you're facing, would you prefer Mike Charlie or just taxi on the ramp and then via Charlie at the top?
We'll go Mike Charlie if it helps you out, American 1717.
American 1717, roger, runway 18 left, taxi via Mike Charlie.
Taxi 18 left via Mike Charlie, American 1717. So, I think we're just going to go sort of straight ahead over here and then join Mike to join Charlie, because that sort of makes sense in my mind, and I guess it made sense to him seeing as he offered it. So, we have been cleared, we've got the lights on, we're clear to the left, clear to the right, brakes off, configs check, there's no button for that, it's not an Airbus, just got to stuff the thrust levers forward. There we go, and it's going to be a heading select departure. So auto throttle can be armed. VNAV we can arm. Actually, that's it might be a bit. Oh no, don't want to do that. Let's arm the auto throttle.
1031, radar contact 33,500. Climb maintain 16,000.
Let's go for this one here.
16,000, direct BB, American 1031.
Yep, so Mike is straight on, Charlie was a bit of a, yeah, whatever. just go this way and do a left. So what modes are we going to use? We're not going to use RNAV, so we do want heading. And we just need to not arm LNAV, correction VNAV. Oh no, I tell you what, we don't have to arm heading select, do we? Because you can't arm heading select.
2, 3.
American 1717, looks like you proceeded on.
We did.
That's not a problem. Proceed ahead on Golf, then take a left turn on runway 23, and then the left onto Charlie.
Yeah, apologies, well spotted, thanks. Sorry, I'm a bit rusty. So, taxi Golf, left runway 23, left Charlie, American 1717, thanks. There we go, guys. Told you I'd be rusty, so... At least we did stop before. It was technically an incursion, I suppose. So we're going to go up here and then second left. So let's get out on. I think I'm going to out reporting here, not this one. Next left.
3,100 feet remaining.
Suppose for taxi, that view is a bit better. That view is probably a bit better for landing as well, to be honest. But once you get used to what you get used to, I like to be able to see what's above, and I like to be able to see a bit further out. There's Charlie to the left. It's not quite a 90-degree turn, so we can take it a little bit quicker. The only thing is that doing that makes for a very different view. Never mind, it is what it is. Is that a bit higher up? Clearly unsuitable. I mean, that might be a bit of a better compromise, but what I'm not going to do is start changing it too much, because it's amazing what you get used to. So while we get lined up, 139, 139, 5 set, 5 set.
Okay, Clement
Trim set. So bang on the hour is when we should be going.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
We are good to go. No idea why that's showing. I don't think I've got SAM info. Don't think I've got sorry, SAM installed. Pretty sure I installed that. We want Charlie 12, so second right. Might as well take the full length of the runway. And we are effectively good to go. I don't think there's much terrain here, but there is some weather. So, runway 18 left, correct runway.
1717, flighting 101, correction, flighting 140, runway 18 left, clear for takeoff.
Heading 140, clear takeoff, runway 18 left, American 1717, thanks. So, cleared, lights, camera, done those checks, action.
Approaching 18 left.
So it's going to be 183. We'll hand flight until 1260. Actually, let's use 183. Let's set 140 on the course.
Tower 33 Delta Charlie, any chance we can go direct to AUDII this time?
And what have we got? 6, oh dear, 6660.
33 Delta Charlie, let's see.
On runway 18
Delta
left.
Charlie, proceed direct to AUDII, and really my air
Go, cabin secure.
Terminated. Train 3, have a great night.
Frequency change approved. 33 Delta Charlie, thank you. Good day.
So 40% power. Toga. Time. Full pressure on the controls. Hands on the throttle. Pretty light, so even with this D-rate, not too sluggish. Didn't hear 80 knots. Might just been me though.
D1, rotate.
Okay, I didn't hear positive rate, but I'm going to pop the gear up. Onto the flight directors.
400.
400, we are going to go for heading south.
On navigation for American 107. South 847 Zulu, climb maintain, flight level 280, resume navigation.
So, Command 8, let's go 140. And we will bug up. That's still some pretty good scenery. Okay, like the trees and stuff and the autogen are not as good as in the new sim.
1717, climb maintain 16,000, proceed direct Monday.
Climb maintain 16,000, direct Monday, American 1717. Okay, why? Oh, my flap's not going up. I know why. Pressing the wrong keys. Thanks very much for Flight Sim 2020. So... Oh no, it's Munby. Let's go LNAV. Let's get the airplane accelerating. Passing flaps up. Brake off, flaps up, no lights, gear up and off. Start switches. The temp is still good, so we'll get those off. RMC so we can park those. Diff pressure's increasing. Make set. Vehicles checked, I'm sure I missed something. And the crew out. Okay, you seem to handle that quite well. Frame rate's still doing pretty good. Maybe the clouds don't look super realistic. A little bit bumpy. So we are in LNAV. We can go to VNAV. Maintain 16 we've got set. Direct Munby. We're in LNAV. VNAV, good. You go very clear to me, please.
Closing just a minute or so.
Still frame rate a bit slow. It's interesting, isn't it? Guess it's the top of all those clouds. The weather engine really needs a bit of work. But equally, the 2020 stuff looks a little bit cartoony even though it's volumetric, so this isn't a bad representation.
17, climb maintain, flight level 370, zoom in navigation.
Climb maintain 370 on nav, American 1717, thanks.
1717, you're in my airspace for your service terminated, exchange cleared, copy that.
Thanks very much for the service, have a great day, see you later, American 1717. Cool. Over to Unicom. Well, that was busy and different. So we've passed 10, all the lights can go off. Diffs at 4.2, cabins at almost 2, 3.7 set once, twice, 3 times a lady. Off we go. Still a little bit bumpy, so I'm not going to let the packs out just yet. We might consider requesting, but we should get, we're going to get above this. Maybe not. Why don't we go direct to Lilik? just to see, yeah, we can avoid that a little bit more. I think it's fair to say you'd probably ask for that. And then potentially looking at the plan, does direct AUDII change much? Probably not by much. So we'll just stick with it. Do not appear to be going direct. No? Okay. It's a good couple of degrees. We are not tracking. Interesting. A little bit of a glitch, I suppose. So passing 18. Oh, more one. So standard. Not that it makes much difference when it's one inch out. So I think we'll go direct AUDII just to cut that off. Sufficient fuel. We are not, that's got to be transient, so we can clear that. Do check it though, make sure it's not going wrong. And certainly for the arrival, we can pop in Raven 6 via Thump, isn't it? Yep. Passing 200, another 10 check. 6.5 cabins at, what's that, 3. Packs on, bleeds auto, 370. Cabins climbing steady. Packs are still sat down. We're going to cut a little bit off of that. We're going direct AUDII and then we'll look at the arrival. See how we get on. Let's have a look on here so you guys can see the weather, arrival weather. I'll do the descents in a minute. Quite a few SIGMETs, Atlanta, Washington for convective stuff. There was only one that was over Charlotte. I think it might have been that one. Not sure which one it was. But I had a look at the route. You can check that. SkyVect will display those for you. Save you plotting them. And on this page, there you go. Kennedy's our alternate. But 107. So runway 10 would certainly seem to suit us. 10 miles in light rain. Nice high level cloud day. 3002, so we can set that ready. The plane's porpoising a little bit. Forecast wise, 206, so we might get rain showers with a bit of a loss of visibility. Still nothing to speak of when it comes to low cloud, so I think that's still technically VFR. Light rain showers. Oh, so yeah. The conditions are worsening from whenever this was run, which wasn't too long ago, to light rain showers, drizzle, just a bit grey and rainy to be honest, with cloud progressively lowering later on in the day for the evening, but certainly for our arrival. Our scheduled arrival is at 2100 Zulu, so that's what we can expect. 120, a little bit of a crosswind, but pretty light winds. So that's a good idea to have a look at the weather and see what you might expect. See the green bar moving as we pitch, and I think, see that, there you go, the wind just changed. 1 knot, there you go, and you see the mod dip to counteract that. I'm going to say that must just be the way that X-plane injects the wind that's provided. Every time you see that dip, you can see the wind changing. So I think Active Sky models interpolates the wind very well because it doesn't have this level of granularity natively in the sim, but that every time the wind strength changes, not necessarily the direction but the wind strength, there is a little dip. There you go, every single time. If I do that, see that a bit clearer, see the attitude change. Not so much with direction, of course, but when that changes to 3.6, the aeroplane will nod. There you go. So, Raven, this is an RNAV arrival again. There is a VOR 115, Baltimore VOR 1151. There is nothing else because we are joining from Thump. So I'm going to tune 1151. There's 300. Last 10 check. Diff's coming 7.6. Cabin's at about 5.5. Climbing steadily, so it's been modelled quite nicely. I don't know why sometimes it stays level and then shoots up, but it's done it quite nicely today. As long as you make sure the bleeds and the packs are on. So it's on auto. You can revert to manual if you need to, but keeping an eye on these two will indicate whether or not you've got a problem. Diff pressure of 0 means that your cabin and the outside are the same, and obviously the diff pressure needs to be a lot higher when the aeroplane's pressurised to a cabin at sea level versus 30-odd thousand feet outside. And there you go, you see out top of descent. How far is that? Maybe what have we got? Top of climbing, maybe 20-30 miles. So that's probably only about 100 miles in the cruise before we start dropping down. And if you guys have a look at the charts, you'll see it's a pretty busy old chart. The MSA is 2,600 to the north, and the east, it's only the southwest sector that's 2,200, but we will be flying through that sector. So we can expect to go to Hun. And we've got quite a few restrictions, speed restrictions, etc. So have a look out the window. One thing with the Flight Sim 2020 is it looks a lot worse than this at altitude. So although you've got all that big data and everything, the scenery looks much worse than this at altitude, certainly in my opinion anyway, and when you zoom in you can see how bad it looks. It certainly feels worse than this. Anyway. So, I'm going to step through the arrivals. We've got Thump 280 above 25, yes. Zeke. Now, should we be at 240? I don't think so. Should be 280 all the way, because we're not on 10,000 there, so that's interesting. 284. Let's see if I do that, will it update that one? Nope.
1,000 to go.
Okay, all checked. So white 2-3, yep, so there's a level segment there, then 210 above. The fort above 180. I think we should still be at 280 then. JO, that's looking more sensible. Vulkan, I think we need to still be at 280 then. Where are we getting a speed restriction? It's just going to be below 10,000, so it's fine there. So that gets us to Raven. Assume that we're going to get RS10. So there we go. Straight to Hertz for the rental car. So Raven. Maybe this has updated. What's the date on this chart? 23rd of Feb? No. I've got none of these on the chart. And I tell her like column jeans. Right, so we are missing the rest of the arrival from Raven. Great. So we need to go Raven, Navy. It's going to be that one. So Raven, Navy, Anchor, Navy, Anchor, low, L, low. Then hum. Oh god, with 3 ends. Right, let's have a look at that on the plan, shall we? Yeah, we did this nice and early, so yeah, that looks more like it. And then that's meant to be vectors, so we might put a custom waypoint in, but that is giving us something sensible. So, pretty happy with that. Vectors from there, maybe a little bit further downwind, and then maybe we could do a 30-degree intercept at a couple of miles, just to try and work that out. So, I'll figure that out. We can figure that out as we go. Ooh, squiffy. Why don't we try direct thumb, see if it gets rid of that little artifact. I think it did. Have we got anything weird? No. Runway 10. Straight to Hertz. Good, so that's our arrival done. We're already in descent mode. That's annoying. There we go, that's put us back into cruise. It's easy enough, wasn't it? a little glitch then. Whatever. Let's have a look on the radar, see who that traffic is. So that is United 410, Atlanta to Newark. Ben Rosenberg. Using the Canada server. Squawky 2000. So our tracks are sort of creeping along. He's planned TAS 464. Yeah, 436. He's a bit quicker than us. We're doing 454 plan, 478 over the ground. He's doing 513 over the ground. And sort of a closing heading, so I think he's sort of doing that. So I very much doubt we'll have a problem. He is overtaking us. It's good that it shows up. So the ILS, I'm going to tune it up. There's no other nav aids. 109.7. And it's going to be single channel, so we'll just have it available 1151 for the Baltimore VOR. .105 on the course. Don't have to have it set both sides, and I might actually change that because 270090 is probably going to be more appropriate. That's going to give us the whole line for the MSAs. So, descent forecast, let's plug that in. What did we say? I have to cheat, so METAR uh, 3001, that's fine. So, not going to put the IC deviation in. The wind and the QNH are going to make the biggest difference to the profile. That is a little bit of a difference, so otherwise you end up with a bit of a skip and then you'll end up either high or low on profile. 250 at 58. 260. 38. 228. 30 is us. Now that was interesting, you see how it updates. Still going to have more than our reserve on arrival. Actually £2,000 of fuel by the looks of it. So, why don't we have a think about that? Custom waypoint. So, get the legs page on here. Okay, something's a bit odd there. Even Navy, Anchor, Lurl, Hun, and we could fly straight downwind. Why don't we just do that? So we want the reciprocal of 105. So we want 285. That's 5 miles. Should we start from that point? I think we could do something like that actually. That would probably be better. So why don't we take column, obviously that's column and jeans. We want a 30-degree intercept. So to do that, you take 105, which is the final approach course. That'll be getting us going that way. Got 30 degrees off that, because that's where we want to be heading. So 105, take away 30, gives us 75, and then we want the reciprocal of that, which is 255. So we want column 255. Let's go for, just step there. 255, 4 miles. No. So 255. Oh yeah, 4. There we go, that's where you wanted to put it. That gives us an intercept, a 4-mile intercept, a little bit of a left turn. I think that might actually work out alright. Let's probably get something similar as a vector, maybe a little bit further out. So if we really wanted to, we could do maybe like 180, 2 miles. One 180, 2 miles, and we want that. Even better, let's try that. You can spend ages playing around with these. That's not bad. Probably do something like that with vectors. Steep descent, acro, okay, yeah, I'm not worried about those because those are quite a long way out. So, we seem to be needing to start our descent. Yeah, I don't think so. If how far away is that? Oh, okay, maybe I was wrong. I should have listened to the airplane. That just seemed a little bit early. We need to be, it's actually 230, that's the restriction there. So we want to, there we go, peg that. Rather than doing anything too drastic. And of course the speed is going to be 280, let's get the throttles all the way back. Descent should be 7.6. Now that should get us back on profile, so why are we getting away from it? Something is going wrong with VNav there. Anyway, we are at 1.5, take away 8.2. Writing it down as we are going to burn 1.3. as we go to the init ref, so that's going to be 124 for landing. And for that we can use the mighty Zibo calculator. Performance landing, runway 10, flap 30 should default to really. The wind, let me just get the latest meta off of VATSIM. Dot. Right, this is at 1954 Zulu. It is 090 at 8. 10 miles, so it still hasn't got worse yet. View at 4,700, broken at 6,000, overcast at 9,000, temperature 23, dew point 19. It's a nice day, 3001. And all that sea level pressure that's for the net guys. So, wind 0, 90 at 8. It's 23 degrees. It's 30.01. It's not the airplane falling out the sky. No, it is turning, which is good. I don't feel the need. That's interesting. You see the path coming back now? That's a bit mad. Because that's going to do us. Anyway, once I'm heading 023, yep, good enough. Flat auto, our landing weight was 124.0. Ain't not a headwind, VREF +5. Leave AC, anti-ice, all brake settings, normals, and speed brake versus no credit. Leave all that as is. And you can see that we will roll down, happily roll down to the end of the runway. I don't think look at that. There's no high-speed exits on this, so we could aim for Delta, which is just above halfway. That might be a bit of a push. Depart at U2 or near the end with auto brake 1. So I'm happy to go for auto brake 2, flap 30. 142, 137, +5, 142. That checks out. 1097, 1097 on both. 105 is set on the active side. So that's us good. And we're going to have this level segment at 230 and then we'll be back on VNAV, so weird. Anyway, so that's happy. We're going to level off. You see then we've got this long arrival to Baltimore. We go a long way around. I suppose you could end up with a bit of a shortcut there, couldn't you? So we've got runway 10 for our fix. It's VFR, so we can do 4 miles, 10 miles, and if you really want, we can do a fix at the Baltimore VOR, and we can do the MSAs, which are 25 nautical miles. Just takes in Raven, which is correct. It's not 20 miles, so my brain hasn't failed me. You could put a fixed ring in for 30 miles, but because this isn't a sort of straight in arrival, 30 miles is where you should be at. What do I want to say? Oh yeah, we managed to bust that speed. That might have been why BNAV was doing that. Whatever, it's a good thing we're online, not getting told off. yeah, 30 miles. You should be at 10,000 feet. Shame, I was enjoying our high-speed descent. So 230, the next descent via 18,000. There's the path coming in. So there's the airplane descending, pressurization a little bit. How far out are we? 2103. Still got about 20 minutes to landing. Get the pack sat down a little bit. Let's have a look on the radar, see who is bound. Just me. Oh well. What if we got to walk in and then took a shortcut? Go pretty much in a straight line. Even if we had to do a dirty dive, end of the world. So we weren't that slow on profile, so I'm not quite sure why the airplane's throttling up. So if we were to go from walk-in straight to Hun, say, oh no, that's not going to be Hun, is it? Hun is the last, yes it is, Hun is the last point because I've created those 2 points there, haven't I? Let's see if we can figure it out. Those two are mine, so we could probably go Lurl. So if we went from walking to Lurl, what does that look like? I think we should do that. Let's do that. Let's give ourselves a shortcut.
1,000 to go.
Interesting, what those restrictions. Bit of a weather redraw there. .343, the minimums. That's Barrow, so it's 200 feet above the runway. But it's we're already doing Cat 1. That's all we would be offered, so I'm going to come into some cloud in a minute. The anti-ice already start switches to continuous. Don't see much of the scenery. Frames are holding up well on Vulkan. Not the best cloud. So let's go level change 280. Down to 10. Direct lull. So briefing strip, the localizer, IBAL, India Bravo Alpha Lima, we will identify on the way in. Get back on VNav. One thing I didn't check was the lights 2500. Looks like an at to me. Does not go too mental with that. Gene's 15. So IBAL 1097, active left, available right. 105, Gene's 1500. Minimum is 343, checked. Runway 10, the mist is 105. Climb to 2500, outbound 105. So we will need to flip that. Picking up the VOR. Why don't we set that? In that case, to Hertz or 12.1 DME, then it's E105 right hand hold or 285 inbound. Cabin is happily depressurizing, already on the anti-ice, 7 degrees just in case. 10,000 feet there. Are we going to be a little quick? We might be. So a little bit slow. Let's give it some power manually just to moderate that descent. So certainly this sector from the VOR, if we put those in quicker down to 2100. Let's go something like 5, see where that brings us. Be a little bit keen. We are entering the cloud layer. I was a bit keen, a bit early on the anti-ice. That's not bad. So, there's the aeroplane pitching up a little bit slowly. It's interesting that it clearly calculates separately and then the FD follows it, which is just amazing. Well done, Zibo. Literally wouldn't even know where to start with all that. Aerial frame rate wise. Steady. Managed to forget that, passing 300. I'm going to pop the lights on because nobody's going to notice. Belts are already on. Phone's on silent, no distractions. we are inbound. So we are above 10 degrees. Didn't get the message about the anti-ice, that's weird. Now that's going to be a problem. It's looking pretty good. Airports everywhere in the States. Once the COVID's over, let's do some real flying out there. Wasn't really ever interested in flying in the States. It's quite good fun flying here, but having seen it in the sim, definitely something I'm interested in now. So, it's going on. Yes, I know we're going to go outbound and in. That's a bit of a worry. So let's go level change. Let's do a bit of a dogleg to the right. And let's get speed brake out. We'll go down to 2.5. Still good for the MSAs. A bit late for Lurl. Now don't forget that's always going to be good for an intercept, so we could always go out, back in. Certainly in my opinion we are a bit too quick. So let's start bringing this back. And even with speed brake, you can see we are struggling. So yeah, the autogen is relatively poor, but the Ortho is still quite good at this height. Don't forget it is free. Now there's our 10 mile ring, so we don't need to be flap 1, and that's our limit for flap 1, but really once we're on intercept we want to be considering it. IBAL 105 we've got. I'm pretty sure that was meant to be DME, so interesting we're not getting that. Okay, looks like we're coming back up on it. Maybe my panic was unjustified. So once we start turning, I really want flap 1. We're just within 10 knots. There we go, that's coming back nicely. had a bit of a panic there. Seems like all was okay. 105, take off 30085.
1,000 to go.
Audible traffic, American 1717, intercepting ILS 10 at Baltimore. Audible traffic. No idea what is our DME. Let's recycle that. Nothing. See the runway.
$2,500.
Now the fact that we're this low is a little bit concerning. Glide slope on the Warlock capture. .25, and we're low.
$1,000 to go.
1500 at Jeans is our next. So glide slope's alive. 10 miles from the runway. No DME, really interesting. So flap 5, match speed. Brake 2, speed brake armed. Stall switch is continuous, cabin is secure, recalls checked. A little more traffic, American 1717. Established ILS runway 10 at 8.5 miles from the Baltimore VOR. There we go, we're waiting for 4 miles from the runway. And 1.3 DME is the touchdown zone. There is an inner marker, so you should see that pop up. That should be about 50 feet decision height. Flap 5 gives a relatively stable approach. Pretty bad of me to not twig that there's no DME on this approach. As you can see, my head has not been in the charts for a while. There's the Ortho looking relatively poor in FS 2020 at this height. It is, I would say, probably better, certainly with the Autogen. The Autogen's not perfect, mind. There's 1500, we are established on the glide slope. 1500 at Jeans we have. Gear down. Flap 15, match speed. Speed brakes armed, auto brake set. Flap 15, gear down 3 green, start switches. We have self-cleared to land, can't see anybody. So 2.5 for the mist. Got more traffic, American 1717. Final ILS runway 10, 3 miles.
Approaching.
So self-clear to land. There's one I forgot on the standby. Now the airplane was in the middle of trimming then. And we are well and truly out of trim. we're coming up a bit unstable. Let's watch that rate of descent. Oh, technically I go around at that point. 500 continue. We are correcting.
300. Approaching minimums.
All over the place.
Minimums.
Continue.
200.
A little bit slow.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, bit of a float. There we go. Yeah, there is the airplane braking. All the brakes, correction reversers deployed. Stow the reversers. Let's go manual braking and try and get off the runway here. So just touch the brakes manually. Now disengage the auto brakes. Oh, it's not high-speed taxi, of course. Although it's got taxiway exit markings. I thought those were meant to be for high speed. Baltimore traffic, American 1717, runway 10 vacated. Now, where are we going to park? 56, not quite an hour. Let's just go this way. Oh yeah, that... No, that doesn't make sense. Is there a runway over here? No, there isn't, so we could go any which way. I have no idea what's realistic. I think we'll do a left on uniform. Oh no, that won't work. Let's just go forward, do a left on Charlie. Go off. I said uniform, didn't I? So let's keep going. Now the brake temp's looking not bad. Sweet brakes up. I think I've done everything else. Oh no, I got that wrong. No, Charlie, yeah. Let's go next left to Charlie. Just park somewhere over here, I think. Right, successful trip. That's irritating. So, what have we got? So, projectFLY registered a landing of 250. 249, yep, same for... same for American Virtual 250, bit of a thump. Gonna have to get better. Let's just pick one of these ones straight ahead. Delta 15, okay, that'll do. Not sure about these markings, but something like this will do us. So that looks alright. There we go, brakes on. So there we go, 1 hour 12 minutes later. Not a bad flight. I think I could have probably done a little bit better, but you know what? After almost 30 days of no flying, FS 2020 don't count. Take that. Landing rating Oh, approach good, landing excellent. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. He's not wrong there. Yep. 3 penalties. Oh, what a shame. Anyway, 5-star landing. I don't think it was that great, but it was alright. I'm going to finish flight on there. Probably not going to do a replay, I'm a little bit knackered to be honest. But a successful trip. Hopefully we'll do one in Europe soon. Maybe Edinburgh, it'd be good to see you, Ben. Oh, I need to sort that shadow mapping out. What else do I need to do? I need to get the AP on the bus. I need to turn the engines off. 2 blues, 1 red, engine's dead. So let's wait for 20% N2. C1 examination in Argentina. We really need to do some trips around the rest of the world, but it's the lack of ortho, so that's the main thing that stops me. That's the one advantage the new one has. Cool, so that's our trip done. So 56 minutes, 1 hour 12 blocks. I like these nice short sectors, they are fun. 4130 on board, 4170 right. 2.66 and 2.67 used. Thanks guys. That's our GPU, and the air bridge will be doing its thing if the other one doesn't do that. It's probably not a bad place to leave it. So, as always, thanks very much. Hope to see you again soon. We'll check out the other sim, which I really can't get into, and we will definitely do some more Zibo. As always, thanks for your support. Look after yourself, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks very much for watching, and bye-bye for now. It's great to be back.